God versus the devil. All right. Tale as old as time. And is the battle with the narcissist, is this encounter on that level of energetic consequence, right? Does that have reality? And to what extent? This is potentially, like, depending on your understanding, laughable or unscientific perhaps. From a spiritual perspective and orientation, this can be viewed um, as a satanic struggle, right? As a tale as old as time, and it's only really the empath that can view it as this, because the narcissist views his their action as a natural expression of their identity, right? It's not really, I'd say in most cases, not recognized as satanic. But what is, narcissists in totality, right? They're vampiric individuals. They feed off the pain of others as a flush of power and as a means of personal stability. They destabilize others, and it's fundamentally unnatural. It's a distortion of a natural disposition. I mean, man management, and there's a significant genetic advantage of that, to be able to cooperate with other people, to be able to influence other people. There's a genetic advantage of being at the head of a tribe. When that becomes an absolute obsession, when that becomes a drive that must be realized at any possible cost, no matter what, forsaking all other drives, that's a distortion of nature. And that blunts other ways to receive value from other people. And that disposition is a rejection of life, is a inversion of the natural flow of behavior and human expression, and satanic at its core. I mean, when you look deep into Satanism, what do they do? The same stuff, but at a whole nother level of, you know, horrific expression, right? So instead of finding empaths and playing control games and, causing chaos in their lives, they do that to children, right? They torture children. They feed on their amygdala. They get high, whatever, ambrosia type stuff. That's just another form of energetic feeding. And it is, on another level of twisted and distorted that the normal everyday narcissist operates on. But nonetheless, a rejection of God, an unawareness of God, a worship of the self, a infatuation with pleasure as an absolute um, salvation, and these are all the characteristics of Satanism. But Satanism light, um, if pushed to really express the full darkness of the path they're on, perhaps they really pull back from it. Because the rational extension of their dispositional behavior is sacrifice of their own child, which is another level of inversion that some cannot cross, but some can. And from their perspective, the more idealistic, the more aspirational towards the spiritual life and existence, the more selfless, the shinier the target. So the closer you are to heaven, the more attractive target you are to the hell demons. And that's really how the game unfolds. And the devil can be an important teacher in awakening, in truth realization, right? Nothing the devils can attack is real. The part of your heart that can be wounded is not the core of your soul. They will try everything to convince you that your soul can be destroyed and corrupted, and they can bring you down to their level of misery. They give it their damnedest to convince you, to bring you back into the fold, to bring you down to their level of misery. And really, it can be, the more and more God-centered you are, the more and more spiritually centered and in touch you are, the less this damage is, the more even humorous this damage becomes, right? And it's actually can be evolutionary. Our enemies can be our greatest teachers. So when you're in narcissistic abuse, it feels like you're getting eaten alive by a shark, really. The more and more centered you are in your true self, in your soul, the more your soul emerges as your expression of yourself. The more the narcissist feels like those little tiny fish that you use for getting manicures and pedicures, right? So the fish that eat the dead skin off your feet. You can just feel them eating away anything, because they'll hang on and twist and get their hooks in anything you fear. Well, anything you fear is keeping you attached to the world. And so, yes, it can drag you into their level of hell, but it can also release what was attaching you to the world and disconnecting you from God. That is the great backlash, unintended consequence of a demonic attack. An obvious demonic attack reveals that if there's something that's evil in the world, there must be a mirror of good on the other side of that evil, right? And so a powerful demonic attack can reawaken faith and deepen and strengthen faith. And so it is a tale as old as time. And it can be a profoundly evolutionary experience. And be open to treating it as such. And be open to allowing your enemies to be your greatest teacher. And that's a beautiful place and beautiful frame to get centered in. Thanks for listening.